Will be in Cleveland on Sunday, face the Browns. To say this Ravens offense has hit a rough patch should be a bit of an understatement. They haven't scored 20 points in any of their last 4 games. Lamar's been under constant pressure, and he's been turning the ball over way too often. Since week 6, Lamar ranks among the league's worst quarterbacks in all 4 major passing categories. Perhaps a little wisdom from a man with a plan would help Lamar. Time for Coach Eric Mangini's game plan. So we brought in Eric Mangini. It would be awkward if we brought in someone else, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it?
It would be a little bit.
Coach, what is the game? It would be weird if we brought in a different guy and they called it your game plan. The game plan for Lamar to get back on track this weekend against the Cleveland Browns.
Well, the first thing is something that Chris has been talking about throughout the show, and that's they've got to find some better answers to pressure. And the pressure is real. They're the most pressured team in the NFL. They're the most sacked team in the NFL. And they can incorporate some more screens, some more quick passes, some more RPOs, something. They've got to find some way to slow that down from everybody who's now jumping on that bandwagon. The second thing, and I think this could help them a lot, is to incorporate some more no huddle. They're 26th in the league in terms of how much no huddle they run. And what that does is it simplifies the defense, and it usually slows them down in terms of what they can do. And that'll allow Lamar to do a lot of things in terms of making plays with the ball in his hand and just being able to get nice, clean reads. And it puts the pressure back on the defense. The third thing, and this is what I'm going to show you on tape, is they've got to be able to control the interceptions. And you talked about the turnovers. It's 13 picks this year through 11 games and 18 picks through the other 37 games. And the answer is to take what's there and take calculated risks. You don't have to be Superman on every play. And let me show you what I mean against the Cleveland Browns. And we're going to take a look at his second interception. So they come back and Baltimore's in a bunch formation, which is the exact same formation that they were in on the previous pick. They've got the backside receiver. He's in a tight split, which indicates that he's going to do this, run a shallow cross. That's a heavy key for that. Now on the front side, the tight end's going to hook up, and this combination between these two players is exactly what they ran the previous pick. It was just slightly over a little bit. The Browns are in this cover 4 shell, what they played on the previous pick. So now we're seeing like with like. And what that indicates now is the safety over on the left. He's either going to come and get the tight end. He's got the tight end vertical if it's quarters coverage, or if it's cover 1, he's going to drop in this hole. So now the shallow cross happens, which there's no receiver on the left-hand side. So the safety's freed up, the corner's freed up. Lamar should know that. He should see the safety. He should confirm that the safety now is coming down into the box, which everything tells you that by his body presence and his body language. And now he's going to try to jam the tight end jam the ball into the tight end, which you could with a perfect throw. But look how tight these two defenders are. It's a small window, and you've got the shallow crosser in front that's going to go for 15 to 20 yards. You don't have to do this. And look at the path of the ball. You're going to see that the ball, it's got to be perfectly thrown. It's thrown to the left, which means it's either thrown poorly or he doesn't recognize that the safety's coming down from the left-hand side, and he's trying to throw it away from the safety on the right-hand side. Either way, both of those things are a problem. And at the end of the day, the easy answer is take what's there. Take the shallow cross and don't try to push the ball into these tight windows when you don't have to. There's no reason for it, and it's got to stop if they're going to get better.
Coach, it's a great film breakdown as always, and when I'm watching it, because I didn't remember that specific play. When I'm watching it, I was like, he's not going to throw. He's not going to throw. He's staring at Mark. He's staring at the tight end. The safeties are there, and then he throws exactly where you think he can't be wanting to throw there. But I want to talk about the first point, which is a point Broussard has hammered, which is the inability to deal with pressure. So I feel like something that is almost just taken as a given is the worst thing you can do against great quarterbacks is blitz them. I feel like Brady, for his entire career, has annihilated the blitz. Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Mahomes' teams stopped blitzing Mahomes entirely about midway through last season. because he had like a 140 career passer rating. Why do you think Lamar, someone who should be able to escape the blitz if pressure does get there better than anybody in league history other than Michael Vick maybe, why do you think he struggled with it so much, and how much of that is specifically on him versus the coaches not getting, having him ready for a secondary pitch, if you will?
Well, when you're blitzing a great running quarterback, what you're going to do is you're going to fill up all of the different running lanes and make sure that there's an edge set and force them to make quick decisions. And you take away their ability to actually answer with a run. That's taken out of the equation. So now that quarterback has to find a different answer that's effective, and you've got to actually hurt your opponent a few times to take them out of that package. And that's what I was talking about, where you incorporate more screens. They run some wide receiver screens. They don't run a lot of tight end screens. They don't run very many screens to the backs. It's usually just outside, and the effectiveness with those screens hasn't been very good. So put more emphasis on that. More quick throws where you're just and quick throw combinations to beat the blitz. So hopefully you can catch and run, because you only have to break one tackle, and it's a big play in that situation. And then the RPOs have been very effective too, where you've got the option to hand the ball off if you like the numbers. If you don't, it's a quick pass. So it's another way to get to that concept. But it's an issue, and they're not making anybody pay, and it's going to keep coming.
Coach, I've been advocating since the offseason for Lamar Jackson to go ahead and get his extension contract done with the Ravens. Obviously, that hasn't happened. And if you look at each of the last 3 years, his touchdowns and passer rating are down. His interceptions are up. Obviously, he's not having a good year this year. If you were in Baltimore, how concerned would you be about his future?
Well, I'm always concerned when you have a quarterback that runs as much as Lamar does, because it's a significant amount of wear and tear on the body. And when you're going to make a long-term commitment financially, it tends to take that player out of that type of philosophy. So organizationally, you're sitting back and saying, is his type of play sustainable because of the amount of hits he takes? But if you pull back on that, are you going to get the same effectiveness from him as a quarterback? So it's a hard answer, or a hard question to answer, and it's a big money question to answer that they're going to have to do really soon.
That's right.
As always, great stuff, Coach. Stick around. We got more to chat with you about. Talk some Chiefs. We got the leader of the defense, 3-time All-Pro safety Tyrann Mathieu, joining us next. Lots to talk about. Don't want to miss it. First things first.